One other crazy thing I just wanted to get your reaction to before we get out of here, Gavin, unless you had another story related to Cenk, was Oklahoma has gone straight 1984. And this is a two-parter, guys, because I came across this today and it was pretty nutty. Oklahoma ideology test for teachers from New York and California draws criticism. Now, Gavin and I were just talking the other day about how we're really nervous for the next generation of public school learners. I feel so grateful. I feel blessed as hell. I feel like I won the lottery with where we went to public school. Gavin and I got one of the best educations that you could possibly get, and I'm not exaggerating, from a public school system in all of the country, right? The Olathe public school system was just top notch. We had great teachers. We had funding. We were able to learn. It was truly exceptional. Gavin and I were just having a great conversation yesterday talking about all the children's literature that we read and how it was instrumental in making us curious and making us lifelong learners and people who want to follow things and understand the world around us. It is critical that you develop your brain as a child, really, like 0 to 10 years old, guys, 12 years old. That shit is so important. That shit is so important, right? And the next generation behind us is getting absolutely fucked, right? The remote learning, I think, is a huge problem. I was not going to be paying attention over a Zoom class. Are you kidding me? I would have found the easiest way to get my teacher to ignore me the whole time and not look at my video call. I would have had 10 other browsers open. I'd be playing video games, listening to music, doing whatever the hell I wanted, not learning, not engaging. Part of the whole appeal of school is just not the social element, but the fact that you're there all day, every day, and you are forced to learn. It's like, we're gonna help you along. If you have a struggle, like, we can get you tutors. Like, that's the whole idea of public education, that we're going to meet these kids where they're at and that we're going to help them. And I know standardized testing has fucked up a lot, but we're not giving this next generation of kids things to, really sink their teeth into. And it's only getting worse. It's getting way worse. And now, because public school teachers can't afford to live in places like New York and California because the cost of living crisis is so high, a lot of them are moving to flyover country. Now, that's good because there's a teacher crisis in places like Missouri and Oklahoma. You would think they would be grateful to have these educators come and kind of fill the gaps where they need them. Unfortunately, they're worried about their woke ideology.
Yeah, that's genuinely crazy. Does it say what the test itself, like what it consists of?
Yeah, it says so.
Like,
they're
do
gonna.
you think black people are as smart as white people? Yes or no? Like, how woke are you? Yes or no? Or how many genders are there? Like, what exactly is on this test?
Yeah, it says the state did not release the entire 50-question test that the Associated Press to the Associated Press, but did provide the first 5 questions, which include asking what the first 3 words of the U.S. Constitution are and why freedom of religion is important to America's identity.
That's a good question. Freedom of religion is important to America's identity.
True.
That's not as fascist as I expected, but I mean, still weird.
Do any of you wokes know the opening of the preamble? Because I do.
What is it again?
We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and establish the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. Woke lefty knows the fucking Constitution.
You can go to Oklahoma now and become a teacher. Aren't you excited? That is interesting though. Like, because that almost looks like one of this reminds me of the test that you have to take to, like, become a citizen.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, what's the Constitution and, like, all this stupid bullshit about, like, the stuff that honestly most natural born citizens don't even fucking know, if we're being honest. But that's kind of weird. I mean, I'm not against there being, like, some sort of I mean, obviously you have to have qualifications to become a teacher. So if you have to know the first 3 words of the Constitution, I guess that's not the end of the world. But I'd be interested in the questions get more, political or partisan.
Yeah, it definitely raises some red flags because it awoke in another part of my brain where I remembered maybe a month or so ago, this article was popping around. Oklahoma State Education Department announces new partnership with PragerU. The Oklahoma State Department of Education is announcing a new partnership with the controversial company PragerU. State Superintendent Ryan Walters, that's the guy that's doing the ideology exam, announced a new collaboration with the company to evaluate educators moving to Oklahoma to teach. So guess who's coming up with this fucking test, guys? Guess who's coming up with this test? PragerU. All right. Dennis Prager, the penis dragger, is the man that is dictating the terms to this. And if you read the AP article further down, it says Prager didn't immediately respond to a phone message or email seeking comment, But Marissa Straight, CEO of PragerU, told CNN that several questions on the assessment relate to undoing the damage of gender ideology. Jonathan Zimmerman, who teaches history of education at the University of Pennsylvania, said Oklahoma's contract with PragerU to test out-of-state contract with PragerU to test out-of-state would-be teachers is a watershed moment. Instead of Prager simply being a resource that you can draw in an optional way, Prager has become institutionalized as part of the state system, he said. There is no other way to describe it. PragerU is taking over the school system in Oklahoma with the full support of the fucking state, Department of Education.
Now you guys are going to see me become one of those dudes in favor of private schools. We're going to need our own left-wing charter schools in Oklahoma to combat this madness. But no, for real, that is crazy. It's like what instead of watching, back in the day we watched Bill Nye. Remember Bill Nye? Now they're going to be watching Matt Walsh documentaries instead in the classes. Like, what is a woman? Are you kids ready for today's lesson? There's only 2 genders, and if anyone tells you otherwise, they're a communist. Now watch this Matt Walsh documentary and then follow it up with some PragerU. Fucking crazy. I mean, it's genuinely beyond parody. It's going to be wild if it actually happened. Like, what are they going to make PragerU for kids? I guess it already is kind of for kids with the animation and shit.
Yeah, it's going to be like the cops are good and there's only 2 genders and none of them involve gay people and let's meet a baker, let's meet an engineer, let's meet a police officer. It's going to
let's meet a Klansman.
Yeah. And I imagine that on the surface level, a lot of this is going to be innocuous, but it's going to teach you that like Christopher Columbus was a great guy and he came here and they had a wonderful Thanksgiving. With
that's what I learned in fucking elementary school, so it's not that much different.
Yeah, fair enough. We'd hope that we'd come around in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I was like, unfortunately, it's not like I got the most radical left-wing education either, even though, as you said, the public schools were fire. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously a huge, not until like high school do you even begin to actually find out about the reality of this.
Oh, here we go.
Country.
I knew it was going to be here.
I mean, like I said, that's already a thing, though. They already fucking teach you. I mean, maybe it's changed, but when I was in school, we did not learn the hard-hitting truth about the genocidal nature of Christopher Columbus and his mission to America.
I just feel like if Michael Knowles is giving you the today is Columbus Day talk, I mean, I don't know. I'm sus about it.
I'm definitely sus about it. But yeah, I was just saying, it's not until high school do you actually even, at least at the Kansas school level, you don't actually get the truth about this country till high school when you have to read some like Howard Zinn. Remember they broke out that shit. They're like, all right, now let's get serious. Shopper. Let's get serious. This is the actual country you're living in. Enough with the fairy tales. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like you learn about like the Japanese internment camps in 6th grade or anything. Or I guess you kind of learn about.
I learned about the internment camps in 8th grade.
In 8th?
Yeah.
Maybe you were in AP and I was in the dumbass version.
I did take AP history. I loved history when I was in. You would have been fine in AP history.
Oh, I'm sure I would have been, but I just was more interested in other things.
That's true. One thing that is like totally American coded is that instead of giving you a full understanding of world history and all of that shit, you learn American history like 4 times if you're on the AP track. And so it felt like every fucking class, it would just be like AP US history. It was like, this is a focus between 1776 and, 1889. And then we're going to the build up and the 21st century and the 20th century and all this shit. I don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. We got to watch a little bit of this Michael Knowles thing though, because that's genuinely fucking hilarious. I didn't know that Michael Knowles. I mean, that's hilarious because I mean, what else do you do when the Daily Wire goes kaput? The Daily Wire is less relevant than it ever has been. I guess for this asshole, you have to become like a little like child communicator. What do you call these people? A child content creator for literal fucking elementary school kids to brainwash them.
Yeah, he's Miss Rachel from hell. He's evil. He's the evil foil to Miss Rachel.
Marco Polo and traveled the world. What? Christopher pulled out a map, which he carefully unfurled. He came up with a plan to sail across the Atlantic. This was no small journey. Its goal was quite gigantic. He said, I'm going to sail to India by heading to the west.
Then is he doing this racist fucking Italian accent? What is going on here?
There is no racism. This is PragerU, Gavin. Gosh, stop bringing your wokeness to our children.
It sounds like an Indian accent almost. It sounds like he's doing like a racist fucking Indian accent that is like halfway between that and Italian. I don't know.
Yeah, it is not a good Italian accent. Mamma mia.
How can you be sure that route really is the best? I have a compass and quadrant, which I will use every day. These tools will help guide me so I won't lose my way.
He does not sound Italian. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say you could tell that it wasn't just Ben Shapiro that was a failed theater kid, a washed-up theater kid that couldn't hack it even in community theater. So that's why he had to become a conservative broadcaster. Apparently, they all harbor the deep resentment with the world that they were not made Hollywood stars.
Yeah, that's so fucking crazy. And also, yeah, why are you? What's with this grooming behavior? Why are you making all this content? What are you trying to groom the children and trying to brainwash them with your ideology, bro? Just leave the kids out of it, man. Have whatever opinion you want, but just leave the kids out of it. That's my stance. I care about children.
Yeah, bro. Gosh, you're starting to give me the creeps, bro. Honestly.
Also, again, to act like this is revolutionary or like something that's necessary or new to make a video about how Christopher Columbus was actually cool. Like that's literally been the status quo for the entirety of this country. We have Columbus Day. We have fucking, that's just the way
woke mob is trying to call it Indigenous Peoples Day, Gavin.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? There's an episode of The Sopranos about this, but it's a real life thing. One of my sister's jobs is working with the different constituent groups in Boston. One thing that the people on the north end of Boston, the north side of Boston, were deeply pissed off about was the disrespect that Columbus Day was getting in Boston. And I was like, holy shit, that's real. I thought it was a joke in The Sopranos, and it's like, no, it's actually real. And they will say with a straight face that because black people have Martin Luther King Day, Italians deserve Columbus Day because they were oppressed in this country too.
Oh, dude, they take that seriously. I mean, we're recording out of Columbus Park, Kansas City, which is the predominant historic Italian neighborhood in Kansas City. They are genuinely proud of Columbus because he's like, for the longest time, he was the most famous Italian dude to ever do anything important. So I mean, not to ever do anything important, but to do anything important in the context.
That back. Julius Caesar was a great man.
That's not what I meant. I meant to do something that was like, discovering a country or whatever the fuck. So they really did, take him seriously and we're proud of him. I feel like probably, Italian, younger generations of Italians don't care as much, but yeah, the older ones are like, are you fucking kidding me? It's Columbus Day.
The Knights of Columbus.
The Knights of Columbus, yeah.
That's how the fucking Departed starts. He's like, I like the Knights of Columbus. Those were real head crackers,
I think they still technically exist.
Oh, I'm sure they
Knights
do.
of Columbus.
There's a chapter, and I thought it was closed, but apparently they still own it. There's not a chapter of the Knights of Columbus, but it's like the original Sons of Columbus. They have a meeting room right by all the union halls on Independence Avenue, kind of nearby over here, and that is a real relic of the past because, as Gavin pointed out, this was an Italian as fuck neighborhood for like 100 years.